Hello and welcome to the Arizona Wildcats post-game report. We're here at Arizona Stadium where the Arizona Wildcats lost to the Utah Utes 30-24 earlier tonight. I'm Michael Lev with the Arizona Daily Star. This is Zack Rosenblatt, my colleague with the Star. Zach, if I had told you before this game that Arizona would rush for 200 yards, that they would outgain Utah by 107 yards, that they would limit the Utes to 2 of 10 on third down, would you have said they would have won this game?
Yeah, and what was Troy Williams? I mean, we didn't know Troy Williams was going to play, but he went
9 for 18
if their
for 131 yards.
If their main quarterback was 50% passing the ball, like these are pretty much all the things we probably listed off. Oh, and Darren Carrington, you said if they kept, well, he got 76 yards. You said if they kept him below 75, they might win.
Close enough, right?
But
That's
just football. Like it's just funny. You point to all these things, but there's all these other factors you forget about. And the reality is, you just can't win when you turn the ball over 5 times. They only lost by 6 points. They had 2 chances to come back and win. They got a miraculous onside kick, which was a weird call in my opinion, since they had 3 timeouts. They converted it, fumbled it away. It's debatable maybe whether he fumbled it, and then threw a pick again on the next drive. I mean, that's just my takeaway. I mean, Brandon Dawkins struggled as a passer again. He got beat up. The offensive line didn't have their best game. Arizona's rushing attack outside of Dawkins wasn't great. But yeah, I think the turnovers. I mean, you can't. I mean, and the 2 missed field goals too. I mean, it's just little things. The 2 missed field goals, that would have been the difference. They would have tied the game.
We could go on and on. They missed 2 field goals.
So
they turned the ball over 5 times. Brandon missed a wide open receiver for a touchdown. Nick Wilson dropped a pass that probably would have resulted in a touchdown. You cannot afford to make those kind of mistakes when you're Arizona. Maybe you don't have quite as much talent as the team that you're facing.
It's one thing.
You don't have as much experience. Like maybe a USC or a Washington could get away with a sloppy game like this. Not Arizona. It cost them.
That's a good point. Yeah.
What could have been.
I mean, the pick 6. If he doesn't make that throw, then maybe they don't score. I mean,
throws the ball away.
But
now usually, the one thing we can say about Brandon Dawkins is he does a good job of protecting the ball. He doesn't throw a lot of errant passes that can be intercepted.
He went 100 passes in a row without throwing a pick before dating back last year.
Right, there you go. That shows it right there. That's not the type of quarterback he is. But for whatever reason tonight, I don't know if he was feeling the pressure. I don't know if it was all the hits that he was taking. He was forcing the ball a little bit more than you'd want him to. That pick 6 was an absolute killer. Totally changed the momentum of the game. And now, heading into the bye week, all we're going to hear for the next 2 weeks, Zach, is questions about Arizona's quarterback situation. Yeah, no, it's like unprecedented, right? Like this has never happened before.
Arizona history.
But here we go. Here we go again. I mean, it's going to be the first thing we ask about when we get back with Rich on Tuesday. I mean, where are we at with the quarterbacks? Are you going to make a change? Are you sticking with Brandon? All those
not
things.
To cut you off, but wouldn't you be surprised if Dawkins is the starting quarterback 2 weeks from now? Like, would you? Maybe surprised isn't the right word.
Would I be surprised if he was?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I mean, Rich has been so patient with him.
But
he's been so loyal to him.
That's why it's so strange to me, because he's not like that with Anu Solomon, and he pulled him at every. And I think that ruined. Maybe he learned his lesson.
I think.
don't know
Okay, here's a theory on that. I think it has something to do with Brandon's competitive nature. I mean, he kept taking hits and kept getting back up. There may have been something about kind of Anu's intangibles that bothered Rich in some way. Or maybe he just kind of never got past what happened with Fiesta Bowl.
That's a behind-the-scenes thing that maybe we'll hear about 10 years from now.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. But obviously, again, quarterback holding his team back.
Every week.
They didn't run the ball great, but they did end up with 200 yards rushing. The defense, after kind of a shaky start, I thought did a great job.
Yeah.
I know that Tyler Huntley got hurt. Which
as
changed
Tony Field
things.
said, was a moment that they could feel the momentum swing.
Yep, they could. That changed things. I mean, there's a reason that Tyler Huntley started ahead of Troy Williams, as we saw. They didn't run nearly as wide open in offense. Troy just isn't as big of a running threat. But, hey, all credit to the Wildcats. They were getting 3 and outs. The offense kept giving the ball away, and they would get it back. I know they had that one fatal mistake. Yeah, they had that one fatal mistake on the 3rd and 18. They didn't get enough pressure, allowed the pass to go down the middle, and they scored a touchdown. Other than that, good enough to win, right?
Yeah.
So what's holding this team back? It's that quarterback situation.
I mean, it's the one, underlying thing. Every time they lose, it seems like maybe everything else isn't perfect, but it's not, the reason why they're losing. They gave up a couple of big plays, but you expect that. They have freshmen everywhere on this defense, and the freshmen really haven't been the ones even making the mistakes when they've happened. I mean, on that big pass play, who even gave
I don't know who the defensive backs were, but he split the safeties, and there was no pressure at all.
I mean, but Kylan Wilborn, as you pointed out, has made at least one big play every game. Tony Fields had a really good night.
Colin Schooler again showed up in a big way in the second half.
You can just see him trying to get the ball. Like, these freshmen are impressive, and it's hard to really fault the defense. Marcel Yates has done a really good job with these young guys. They're clearly better than last year. Like, there's no debating that almost. And yeah, it just comes down to, you know, I've said all week, Brendan Dawkins just needs to be DJ Denker. He needs to run the offense and not turn the ball over, and he's been turning the ball over. So
we drew parallels after the Houston game to the BYU game, and I think you can draw parallels between this game and the Houston game. A few mistakes here and there. You know, some of them made by the quarterback.
It could have been like one difference in plays, like a few times.
One play that goes the other way, and you end up with a win. I mean, this team very easily could be 4-0. Instead, they're 2-2. So I'm gonna kind of look at the glass half full here. Last year, in almost every loss, they were getting blown out, right? So against a pretty good Houston team and what we think is a very good Utah team, they lost by 1 score. So there is some reason for optimism. Would you agree?
Know, it's the idea. It shouldn't be like this in the 6th year a coach is out of school, but it's the idea of lose big, lose small, win small. But for Rich,
they're in the lose small phase.
For Rich, is he going to have the opportunity to be in the win small phase? You just can't be back in that rebuilding phase in your 6th year. That's just the reality of the Pac-12 and college football, and you know it's not going to get easier. At Colorado 2 weeks from now, they have a week to rest. Colorado's pretty good. We'll see how they are in Pac-12 play. And then UCLA at home. It's a home game. UCLA maybe isn't that good, but they've never beaten UCLA under Rich Rodriguez. And then we just know the rest of the schedule just gets harder and harder until they end off with ASU, where everything's possible.
Right.
We might have 2 new coaches by then. So
Rich is going to have to figure out this quarterback situation. His future might depend on it. All right, that's our show for tonight. Thank you for watching. You can check out Zach's work and my work at Tucson.com. You can also download the Wildcaster app, which is free and it's cool. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.